everybody, this is the My RC Life YouTube channel with Casey Chaos and Traxxas Mike, where we do all things RC, planes, drones, boats, trucks, crawlers, and everything in between. Let's go!
What's up, guys? I'm going to do a short little video on how to show you how to fix a tire after it blew off the bead and threw your foam out. Now, the first thing you want to do is finish getting the tire all the way off the bead and try not to rip it anywhere. If you rip it anywhere, you're pretty much done. You can try to glue, if it's just a small rip, you can try to jam it back in there and glue it back on. But I got this one all back, pulled out of there without ripping it. Some people say you can boil them, blah, blah, blah. There's a bunch of stuff you can do. Now these Power Hobby wheels and tires have been pretty good for me. I'm thinking what happened is right here is where it initially started coming off, and if you can tell, there wasn't no glue there. All the way around, everywhere else there was glue, at least a little bit. But that one spot, no glue. And that's where it started coming apart. And then my foam, it blew apart as well. So you take your foam, you get it dried out. This has been sitting on the register for like a week or more. You want to get it glued back together. I'm just going to use hot glue to do this. When my hot glue gun's warming up, I'm going to take the tire here and clean this up with some isopropyl alcohol. So when I re-glue the tire back on the bead, it's going to stick really good. Get a little bit of isopropyl on the end of a rag here. Just gonna clean up that whole edge of the wheel. You want to make sure the inside of this tire is dry and free of any debris, dirt, chunks of rocks, or anything as well. And then clean your tire as well, where it's going to butt up against that wheel. The bead of the tire that's going to touch the wheel. Make sure there ain't no grease or dirt or anything left on it. It's just to make sure that your tire glue or whatever you're using to hold your tire back on is going to adhere very well. And put a fresh glue stick in there. Actually, there's a little bit left. See, it just had a little tiny dot on there, so we're going to make sure we get a little bit more on there for when we put ours back together this time. Hold her together and until the glue cools down. Might have to put in a little bit more than what I had on there, I guess. Okay. I know there's plenty on there now because it's squishing out the sides.
3 days later.
Looks like you're starting to hold. Starting to stick together. Takes a while for it to cool down in this foam because the foam is an insulator and it holds the heat of that glue in there, so it keeps it malleable, if you know what I'm saying. Might even be a way, you know, clamp it with a pair of vice grips or something like that. Or even cramp it in this vise a little bit or something. I don't know. Cramp that baby in there. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Yeah, it's like that. We'll let that sit for like 5 minutes.
3 weeks later.
All right, it's been a handful of minutes. Let's go ahead and loosen up this vise, and hopefully this thing's stuck together. Yes, it does look like it held together. It's slowly going to get its form back. It's kind of got a teardrop shape right now, but it'll get its form back. Might have to trim this a little bit, maybe. I'm going to take some of these kitchen shears here and there we go. There. We're going to look something like that. Then I think next thing we ought to do is you're going to kind of want to try to open your tire up like this and then get that foam slid in there. And it's going to take a little bit of trying and prying and everything else, but you'll get it. What's nice is the whole tire ain't de-beaded, only the back side. So I'm just going to try to leave it out like this. Pull the end up and jam some in. So let's try that. Just going to keep peeling some out and doodle bop some down in. Yes, the terms I use are actual real words. Doodle bop it down in is definitely in the dictionary. Alright, kind of peel that up. Give that a schmiggity smack down in there. Same thing over here. A biggity bop, schmiggity smack, doodle bop. Okay, as you can see, it's starting to work. See, the doodle bops and smiggity smacks are working for me. Get that down in there. To get it in evenly is the best bet. Okay, now it's really getting in there. Okay, perfect. I love it. Okay. Now we already got this cleaned up. I did have some CA glue and I can't seem to find it. So I might just hot glue this back in. I mean, I got hot glue on my vents and those have held good. So I don't see why it would hurt to hot glue my tire bead in. Yeah, I like that. Now some tires, you have to fit this part of the rubber down into a gap. Now not with these ones, they don't have a gap, but it just sits on a flat part. So these ones are a lot easier to glue. I guess I'm just going to use the hot glue. I don't really like using the super glue because that stuff, you know, tends to dry rubber up. And then it cracks it, and then it's all junk. So I'm just gonna pull like some of it out like this and squirt a little bit down in there. Hot glue, you want to work kind of quick because it dries up, cools down, you know. Okay, get all that in. Make sure your tire is pressed down in there. And I'm actually going to sit this little vise on there for some extra weight. Let that sit for a little bit and I'll show you the finished product. Alright, it's been a little while. Let's remove the old vise. Okay, now we do have a little bit of sloppiness, but that's okay. You can cut that off or you can just leave it on there. Biggest test is, since this tire is not vented and the vent holes on the inside of the wheel are plugged. When I squeeze it, you should not hear any air. Okay, that lets me know that this is sealed up nice and tight, perfect for winter driving. If you drive in the winter, you kind of have to fill these in. In your instructions that you get with your vehicles or whatever, it'll tell you to put a piece of tape or duct tape over the inside of this. But every time I've done that, you go out, you run it. These tires are spinning so fast with these big, huge ESCs and these awesome TP power motors and crap. They're spinning so fast. Those pieces of tape are in there, and you're getting snow rubbing all up in here. It whips that piece of tape right off there. The only way to really do it is to actually get some super glue, or I guess I don't know if super glue works, but hot glue, that's what I swear by. What I actually do is I'll actually squeeze the tire like this, let a little air out of it, get the hot glue gun, put a little bit of glue over top of that hole, then let off of the tire. While the glue's still hot, it will suck glue down into the hole just a little bit, so it really adheres in there. It kind of puts like a glue rivet on the back side of that hole. Really makes it so no water is going to get in there. And when summertime comes around, if you want your tire back vented again, grab a small Allen wrench, just kind of line it up where that hole was, jam it through. Easy as that. Alright guys, that's how I fix a blown out tire, if I ever have one. That's it for today. I'm Traxxas Mike from My RC Life, and I'll see you later. Bye guys.
Thanks for watching another episode of My RC Life. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.